One of my greatest skill sets is storytelling, because story communicates the message and the meaning to others in a way that numbers and sales pitches and anything else just doesn't do it. It has to be all about your story. I was doing UI UX before it was called UI UX.
How has your health, your wife's health, your family's health changed since you transitioned from a very tech dominant career and life into now this tech/health dominant lifestyle?
I think people make health hard. And they make it so hard that you don't want to go do it.
It's either going to cost you money or it's going to cost you time and energy. And most people will choose the money side of it because it's convenient and quick. Friends, welcome to the Decentralized Health podcast and episode number 19. Today's guest is Ryan Riley. From building code to building biotech empires, Ryan is a tech innovator turned health pioneer. After scaling Cellcore Biosciences to $200 million exit, he's now leading Regen, a company redefining stem cell science and human rejuvenation. So if you are obsessed with innovation, impact, and unlocking the body's potential, you are in the right place. We know what he does. Now it's time to find out who Ryan is. Friends, welcome to the Decentralized Health podcast and to Ryan Riley. Friends, welcome back to the Decentralized Health podcast. I hope you are all blessed and well. So today's guest is a tech pioneer who's moved into the health space. This is going to be an incredibly fascinating story. The gentleman's name is Ryan Riley. I met him very recently at a Health Optimization Summit. We've kind of spoken a couple of times before, but this is the first time we truly connected. So he's going to introduce himself. He's going to tell his story. But before he does, I'm going to be introducing a new part to this show, which is the reason why I started it in the first place. And Ryan gave me this great idea as we were just talking before we hit record. So Ryan, those questions that I said that I always ask and never record them, it's a shamanic principle. It comes from my ex-client who is a shaman, who is still a shaman from Peru. And he said that whenever you go to see a shaman, he will ask you, when was the last time you danced? When was the last time you sang? When was the last time you sat in your own stillness? And when was the last time you told us stories? I'm going to ask you those 4 questions and then we can dive into your story. So when was the last time you danced?
So it was actually Saturday night. Just today's Wednesday, so it was just a few days ago. We were at a wedding for a really good friend of the family. Their youngest daughter got married. My son actually DJs, and that's a whole other story. I started helping him learn how to grow a business and start a business when he was 13 by DJing.
Wow!
And he's 25 now. And he's been DJing ever since. And so he was DJing. My 11-year-old daughter was with us, and we were on the dance floor. And I think I even did the kickworm, like a 1980s breakdancing move, the kickworm. So we were absolutely enjoying the night and sharing that experience with my daughter.
Incredible. And when was the last time you sang?
Well, so with my daughter, again, this morning, I drive her to school every morning, and we swap off songs. So she'll introduce me to a song, and then I'll introduce her to an old song, and then we sing those songs together as we drive in the car. So minimum every morning, but throughout the day, I'm constantly singing.
Love that.
Music is empowering.
I agree 100%. I think, if we can dance and sing like no one's watching and no one's listening, it embodies us into the energy of your daughter's age, because They don't care at that age. They really don't. There's no thought about any of it. It's just a case of, I feel the rhythm, I feel the song, I'm going to sing, I'm going to dance, whether it's in tune or off beat, it doesn't matter. And I think it's an important thing to have. Like, play is such an important thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay. 3rd question. When was the last time you sat in your own stillness?
So every morning, I take time to prayerfully consider the day. I believe that all things are created spiritually before they're created physically, and for me, that morning meditation, that morning prayer, is working through my day spiritually, so that I can be able to be present and active and attentive. And manifest the day that I want to have, so that I can go into and experience it in the physical.
Beautiful. That's exactly what I do as well, brother. And the last one, and this is obviously that's going to bring us into the show now. When was the last time you told a story?
Right now. I mean, story is huge. I believe that one of my greatest skill sets is storytelling. And that goes into how I run companies, that goes into how I deal with finances, that like everything is about understanding the story, because story communicates the message and the meaning to others in a way that numbers and sales pitches and anything else just doesn't do it. It has to be all about your story. So, and there's a really amazing individual, Bo Eason. He was a NFL football player. He was solo play, like he was a one-man play on Broadway for a number of years about his story. And now he actually does workshops on storytelling and creating your story. I've seen him several times. I've seen him speak several times. The dude's incredible. But that's the whole mechanism of understanding how to tell your story is one of the most powerful things that you can do.
I agree 100%. And speaking of that, brother, introduce yourself to the listeners, to the viewers. Who is Ryan Riley? Where do we start this amazing story?
Well, thanks, Mark. I appreciate that. Man, we can start way back. My entire career has been in a browser. So I began in 1997, 96, 97, and fell in love with the internet when it was first coming out. I remember I hijacked my wife's college account and started just doing everything I could possibly do. And I was going through school. I was actually going through political science philosophy major. And I felt so in love with the internet and technology that I actually left school and went to the Bay Area and started my career. And you have to remember, that was the time where, if anybody wants to like go back into history, there's the era of the .com boom. Like everything was happening. Like this was pre-Google. Everything was happening, and everybody was trying to figure things out, not only just from a website, community software, but hardware. And I actually went to the Bay Area. I worked for a number of companies there, but I ended up at a company called Alteon Web Systems. And Alteon Web Systems they were like the fourth largest IPO in 2000, and just off the charts IPO, incredible opportunity. And then my wife and I, we got bought by Nortel Networks. Alteon got purchased by Nortel Networks. My wife and I went in to look to buying a house in Morgan Hill, California. We went in and our stock price was like at $68, fully vested. We left the financial meeting and our stock already dropped like 10, 15 points. And by the time I got my sell in, the stock was at like $42. And I sold, packed up our stuff. We moved to Boise, Idaho. And by the next Monday, our stock was at $1.78. So I literally lived through the crash, that .com crash that people are so familiar that you might be familiar with. That was a part of my history. But the interesting thing about it is I've always been one of those guys that like whatever you can whiteboard, I could build from anything in a browser. So I've done all the back end, global infrastructures. I built co-location facilities. Moved co-location facilities into cloud infrastructure, anything from UI, UX, data integration, CRM integration, ESP integration, everything you could possibly think of that can exist in a browser. In fact, I remember one time I was working with a company called 8x8, and they were trying to solve a problem on how to move data around. And I was like, man, if we're going to have somebody reviewing this data, the browser becomes the ultimate gateway. And it was my understanding of a browser and how a browser works, design, user experience. I was doing UI UX before it was called UI UX. Like so literally I feel like I grew up on the internet in my career, and just had an incredible opportunity. But it's interesting because I got to a point in my career where I was working for a company. I was CTO of a company. I priced myself out of the marketplace. I was making really, really good money, but there was something missing. There wasn't a scenario where I didn't have any equity in the company. The owners of the company were kind of talking about putting the company in a golf mode, which is basically they go golfing while they just sunset all the projects and they retire. So I didn't see any upside in the company that I was at. But again, like I said, I kind of priced I got to the point as CTO, we were supporting large companies in the direct selling space, like Tupperware, Avon, Mona V, Tahitian Noni, like these major companies, Fortune 500 companies in the direct selling space as the back end. And I just got to the point where I knew I needed something different. And this was about 2012, 2013. But the crazy thing is I was doing amazing things. Like back in 2010, 11, and 12, I was doing large data predictive analytics, right? Which was the beginning of AI as we know it today. So AI today is just algorithmic intelligence. It's not artificial intelligence. It's algorithmic intelligence, which was founded in large language models that we were building from scratch on predictive analytics, right? And so it was that concept of how do we get more and more out of the data. So my career has been, from a technology side, really, really steeped in a lot of amazing opportunities. But like I said, I was around 2012. I started feeling like I needed something different. I was kind of seeing my team was at a point in where everything was going great. I built teams here in the US and overseas. Everything was running smooth. I literally got to the point where I was only working maybe a couple weeks out of the year. I would fly to a client, I would hear their needs, I'd write it up, I'd hand off my team, and I'm just done. And I really got to that situation where I was like, okay, so what do I want? Like, what? My wife and I sat down and said, what do we truly want to do? And I had amazing examples. My parents were school teachers in California, so their retirement was incredible. And they actually served missions for our church throughout the world in their retirement. And I was like, what an amazing experience that could be. So my wife and I sat there and said, look, if we want to use that as an example, if we want to go and serve missions in our retirement, we need to be in a better financial situation. We need to prepare ourselves to be able to do so. And so for 5 years, I was in this situation of like, okay, how do I prepare myself to be able to serve? And if that's truly our goal, if we truly want to serve in that manner, I kind of started creating this contract with God that it was like, okay, like I need to put myself in your hands. And if I can put myself in your hands, and if we truly present this opportunity, then I need to be in a position where I can do this, right? So for 5 years, that was literally all my meditations, all my prayers, all my stillness, all those thoughts were, what's my next gig? Where can I go? What can I do to be able to put us in a situation so we can serve in a way that would be just beneficial to everybody around us? Like, we wanted to serve. And so like literally for 5 years. And then one day, this guy moved into our neighborhood, and his name was Todd Watts. And I knew his twin brother. I knew his sisters. So I knew his family, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go say. So I texted him. I was like, hey, do you mind if I come over and say hi? He's like, yeah, sure. So I literally got on my skateboard. And I rode over to his house, and I was sitting in his front room. His wife was doing dishes in the kitchen from dinner. And we just were talking and having a great conversation. I was just getting to know him. And I looked at him and I said, hey, Todd, how can I serve you? And remember, this whole concept of service has been on my mind for like 5 years, like really leaning into the power of service. And so I looked at him, I said, Todd, how can I serve you? And he stopped and he said, I need a CEO. And I was like, whoa, let's talk about this. Todd Watts met a gentleman that, and together, Jay Davidson and Todd Watts built a small supplement brand. And they were both doctors. They were practitioners working in clinic. And this little brand that they were creating was starting to get some legs underneath it. And so Todd was looking for somebody to help him. So I came on as the founding CEO of Cellcore Biosciences. Cellcore Biosciences is now a major player in the consumer health industry, is in gut health and detox. And so I was the founding CEO. I was Dr. Jay Davidson and Dr. Todd Watts' business partner. And fortunately for me, they were incredibly gracious and selfless. And they gave me a fairly good sized portion of the company to be able to work and do things. And so I went back to the company that I was with and I said, hey, I've got a friend who has some supplements. I'm going to help him out and work with him. And they're like, great, but if we need you, we'll call you. Like, we're totally fine. And so for a year, we literally started building Cellcore in my backyard. We found a space. We started growing it. And this was right at the beginning of 2018. And so I learned a lot. It was incredible because I was able to apply all of my technology skills, business background, everything that I understood from working with clients on global scales into this one little company. And that one little company allowed me to really just lean in and work. And I knew my limitations. I started looking for on operations, somebody to take over operations. I started looking for somebody to take over marketing. And I knew that the secret of success, and this is something that was told to me a long time ago about marriage. The secret of successful marriage is to find somebody who is 1,000 times better than you and convince her daily that you're worth it. Right. And let me tell you, man, fortunately, I found somebody. My wife is incredible. We're getting ready to celebrate our 30-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so I took that same approach into finding team members. I looked for people that are 1,000 times better than me. And I always kind of took that. I remember hiring developers that I would actually pay more than what I was making because they were worth it. And I knew that if I hired somebody that was that good, that was that much better than me, it would make my life easier. Right. So there's no ego when it comes to understanding that. And so literally I leaned in, I found an amazing team. We started building this company, and within 4 years, we grew the company to a point where we could have an exit. And we found somebody to come in, take it over from us. And I had the opportunity to enjoy the fruits of that labor for 4 years.
Wow.
And it put me in a position where literally it answered that goal that I was looking for 5 years. So in 4 years, I was in a position where I could go and serve and do everything I needed to do. But the interesting thing about it is I went to a conference, and it was the Consumer Health Summit. And I was on stage and I was talking about the exit. I was talking about the experience we had with Cellcore Biosciences, because many of the people that were in the room, it's a small little conference, only about 100 people, knew my story and what we went through and the success that we had. And so I was sharing that on stage, and there was a gentleman after me that came up, and he had 10 minutes, and his name was Christian Drapeau. And he had 10 minutes to talk about this new supplement that he was working on and that he was trying to bring to market. And I literally tell you that when I had that moment and I asked Todd, how can I serve you? And he said, I need a CEO. It felt like the stars aligned, and there was some divine intervention for me being on the couch with Todd that day. I had the exact same feeling when I saw Christian speak. And what he was talking about was just incredible. It was absolutely incredible. The ability for people to increase the number of stem cells in circulation through a process called endogenous stem cell mobilization. And the fact that he has been studying this for 25 years, I absolutely knew that I wasn't going to retire yet. I have an 11-year-old daughter right now. So I've still got 8 years before she leaves the house and I can retire. So I have time. Yeah. And not only that, but because of the success that I had with Cellcore, I have Slack. And Slack is one of the greatest things that anybody can have, is time and resources, right? So I had the opportunity to get to know Christian. He and his wife came to my house. We hung out for the weekend. We wanted to make sure that we felt good together, and we leaned in, and I started helping Christian with my team. It was the same team, my chief operating officer, my chief marketing officer, chief revenue officer, the same team that helped us build Cellcore Biosciences. We stayed together because we realized we wanted to continue to work with each other. And so we leaned into Christian, to Regen. We took some time to make sure that we were a good connection and that we were a good fit. And in the beginning of 2024, Christian gave me the honor to be the CEO of Regen. And not only am I an investor, but I'm also a part of the day-to-day activities of this company. And I am super blessed to have the experience to stay in the consumer health industry, to help people understand the importance of taking control of your own health, and to really driving something that I think is incredible.
I agree. And I think in this situation, you've divinely been led into two incredible companies, not just because of what they were before you were there, and then what happened to them while you were there and you grew them, but I know Cellcore very, very well. I use them with my clients quite a lot. And I know Regen very well because I use those with my clients, and I use them myself as well. So there's a lot of supplement brands out there, but there are very few who have the quality and the the mission and the purpose behind what it is that they're actually trying to achieve. So a lot of people are just there to get the money. They're putting, and I had this same conversation the other day in a business meeting. I was like, it's not profit then purpose, it's purpose then profit. Like that's kind of how this has to work. Like you have to be doing this for a bigger reason. This has to be, it's not legacy because nobody's dying. It's generational. Like you're building something which is going to last and it's going to help a lot of people. So it's purpose which will bring you the profits. The same as what Einstein said. Strive to be of value, not of success. Like that's the whole purpose behind all of this. So how has your health, your wife's health, your family's health changed since you transitioned from a very tech dominant career and life into now this tech/health dominant lifestyle?
Well, that's an incredible question, because I think in general, it's hard to truly show or explain that without really getting into showing, and she's going to kill me, but like there are pictures of us, I would say not even 10 years ago. I mean, 10 years ago, there's pictures of us where you have to remember, like my wife just got done having 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the tech industry. So my diet was not a healthy diet. My wife and I were not obese, but overweight. I think my average weight was about 210, 205, 210. I'm only 5'10. So like that's heavy. I wore extra large shirts, and had really the challenge of trying to figure out how do we handle like growing together. And I'll send you some pictures of us.
Thank you, brother.
Like at Disneyland at that stage, and you can see we're heavy.
Yep.
Getting into understanding our own personal health and our own personal health journey. Well, I'm 52, so my wife is 51. We just began our second 50, but the process of coming into that, we've taken control of our own health. We're like, I dropped 40 pounds. I'm running. I ran in high school, and I'm running more now. We're working out on a regular basis. We have our own health stack that we do on, like we have a infrared sauna with red light therapy, with cold plunge, with, hot tub, with steam shower. We have we go through our own modalities that help us stay on top of our health as much as possible. We're doing we've gone through hormone therapy. My wife transitioning from everything that a woman does, going through perimenal and postmenopause, the balancing hormones, balancing weight, like taking control. I remember I went in a couple of years ago and I had my testosterone tested, and my testosterone was like a 92. My daughter had more testosterone than I did. She was freaking 8 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
8, 9 years old. So going into hormone therapy, taking control of your life, put us in a situation where my 4 boys are 25 to 19. They're like, Dad, let's go run a Spartan. And I don't know if you guys know about a Spartan, but
I run Spartans. I used to do it professionally. Yeah.
Okay, so think about this. They like, not only did they want to run a Spartan, they wanted to do a trifecta weekend.
That's what I did. Yeah.
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 So
Brutal.
You're doing Saturday, you're doing a half marathon. Sunday morning, you're doing a 10K. Sunday afternoon, you're doing a 5K. And there's about 60 obstacles, 65 obstacles that you're going over through the process.
It's brutal.
But I did it. And the fact that I'm over 50 and I'm hanging with my boys and we're supporting each other going through there, that's the greatest gift that I could possibly have.
Agreed.
One is the fact that my boys still want to call me dad. And 2 is the fact that I can actually hang with them and we could do things and we can support each other through this process. So yeah, our health journey has changed dramatically as we've taken control, become our own CEO of our health. And really have focused on. And here's the funny thing about it, Mark. It doesn't have to be hard.
Nope.
I think people make health hard, and they make it so hard that you don't want to go do it.
Yeah.
Like I still eat what I want to eat. I just eat till I'm not hungry anymore.
Yeah.
I don't stuff myself.
Yeah.
Like I still balance things out, and to be fair, like in this over the last several years, we've built a family farm.
Amazing.
95% of our protein that we consume as a family comes from our property. So it's a little like all of our eggs, it's a little different. And I get that, but still at the same time, I'll still go out and grab a pizza. Like we'll still go out and you we go to Switzerland and eat McDonald's because McDonald's in Switzerland is amazing. I don't know if anybody knows this, but if you travel internationally, like Switzerland McDonald's is the best McDonald's on the planet. Like the French fries, and here's a good example. And this is how bad it's gotten for us. The ingredients for a McDonald's French fry in Switzerland is 3. There's salt, potatoes, and oil. Do you know how many ingredients there are in the United States on a McDonald's French fry? It's crazy. It's like over 1920.
I was about to say 1920 ingredients. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So, but we're careful about what we eat, but we eat what we want, and it's more of moderation in all things.
Yes,
as opposed to like we're just going to go eat until we're full.
Yep.
And then we work out, we exercise, we're active, we're engaged in the life of our kids, we're engaged in our farm, we're engaged in our activities. We have a huge garden that we process, that we gather food from and process, and we do all that to be able to know where our food's from. But at the same time, we're not like crazy about it, you know. So I think there's a balance that people can have, and the biggest problem is they think health is hard, and it's not. Yep. You just have to start simple.
Exactly. And I think a lot of this comes down to it's either going to cost you money or it's going to cost you time and energy. And most people will choose the money side of it because it's convenient and quick. Where if you can actually start bringing into your day times and the energy to do these certain things, like you don't have to have a massive garden to be able to grow your own veg. You don't have to have a massive garden to grow your own fruit. No. You can have a very small garden to do those things. You know, my mum's got a reasonable sized garden, but she's 74 and she grows all her own fruit, all her own veg. She's out there like even now when it's like winter here now and it's cold, she's out there making sure everything's tidy, ready for when she plants in the season. All this like you can look after it. And it's funny because when I have conversations with her about this type of thing, she's like, I feel better because she still works, she runs her own marketing research company. She's like, I feel better when I'm not sat at my desk all day long and I break it up by going out in the garden in the middle of the morning or the middle of the afternoon. And even if I'm just like tidying the leaves or trimming bushes or something, she just feels better. And I think this just ties into the fact that, you know, we're outdoor mammals living an indoor existence, and we need to find that balance. I think it's great you guys have got your own farm. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. And it's funny because what your mom said, like I honestly, and it's little things, like I don't have a chair at my desk.
Yeah.
I have a elevated desk. I use a Slack board like all day long. I have a balance board. So I switch between a Slack board and balance board, but I don't sit down, and I feel better throughout the day when I take the opportunity to just make some small changes in your life so that you could be able to have a little bit more activity. I mean, I've gone through and done SICA's scans and metabolic age scans. Like my metabolic age, I'm 52. My metabolic age is 38.
Wow.
Like that to me says everything. Like you can have the opportunity to take control of your health, but it all comes down to just start. Like you've just got to start. And I honestly think one of the biggest things that's underrated is understanding your hormone health.
Yeah, I agree.
Understanding how your hormones affect your thyroid, how your hormones affect your kidneys, how your energy levels, your everything that you do. Like I was working out for over a year and I wasn't seeing any muscle gains because I had a 92 on my testosterone. Like I've shared that with people and I'm like, dude, how are you even alive?
Yeah, and the funny thing about it, it's very low. For people that don't know, that is a very, very low testosterone level.
Like normal is 900 to 1200. That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
For an active, engaged adult man. And they were like, well, do you have a problem like with energy? I'm like, no, but I was compensating with caffeine, right? They're like, well, do you have a problem sleeping? I'm like, no, but I was compensating with like Tylenol PM. And they're like, do you have a problem starting or completing tasks? I'm like, no, because I'm ADHD and dyslexic. I mean, like, those are my superpowers. Like I'm full on engaged constantly because of my superpowers. And it took me a while to realize dyslexia truly is a superpower.
Oh,
and
it
there's
is.
a lot
100%.
we can go into there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until the point where I really realized what was going on from a hormone standpoint that I leveled my hormones, tied things together, and then all of a sudden I'm starting to see muscle gain. I'm starting to see like things started to click in my health, weight loss, like and it's simple things. It's, for example, I was in my weight loss journey. I got to a point where I was sitting right about 175. And my target weight was like 165. I wanted to be between 165 and 170. For me, that was a good runner's weight, and I really love to run. But I got to that point. I was like, man, I'm not breaking. Like, there's a floor that you get to, and like, how do you break through the floor so you can continue your journey? And I got a cold plunge, and I started cold plunging. And within 2 weeks, I was at 165. I mean, there are simple changes you can do that doesn't take so much. That like, and you can build a cold plunge for cheap. I mean, there's like, you can do cold plunging really, really cost effective. You don't have to spend a lot of money in order to be able to become the CEO of your health. You can do it in very cost effective ways, but it's those simple little steps of, man, I understood. I got control of my hormones. I got control of my weight. I started adding different modalities. I've got, fortunately, I have an opportunity where I have my own home gym. I have a power plate, vibration plate. You saw those at Health Optimization. They're freaking incredible. And I my everything else. I have my health stack that I go through and my routine. And once you get into that routine, you put yourself in a situation where you can start seeing progress. And once you start seeing progress, it's an amazing thing.
Exactly. And I think what people do is they make it so difficult that if they fail, it's not their fault. It's because it was difficult. I was a personal trainer for 15 years and I was a CrossFit coach for 5 years. And the mindset was very different with CrossFit to personal training. CrossFit people, they just want to torture themselves, which is great because it was fun at the time. But when it comes to everyday people that just want to lose some weight, when they'll come and speak to me, they say, I struggled to lose the weight. I thought I would train 7 hours a day. I would do it 20 days a week. And I'm like, already the maths doesn't make any sense. Like, you're making it so hard on yourself. That way, then if you do fail, it's not your fault. Well, of course it's your fault because you've made it too difficult. So people are going to sit back and they're going to hear this and they go, okay, so he's got a sauna and he's got a cold plunge and he's got a slack board and he's got a this and he's got a that and he's got this stacks, he's got this, and they're going to count up to like maybe 10 or 20 things that you've got. And the main point here, which I don't want to speak for you, which is, he didn't start with all those things.
No.
He started maybe 1 or 2 and just built up as he went.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it is like, I started with a crappy freaking weight set at home. I started with a skateboard. I remember when I wanted, like, I was sitting here and here's a question that I ask people on a regular basis is like, what did you used to do when you were a kid that you don't do now and why?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I skateboarded my whole life growing up.
And I got to the point.
I know. I got to the point where I didn't skateboard anymore. And I was like, what the crap? Why aren't I skateboarding? And so I started skateboarding again. And that's just me going to the park. And here's a tip. If you're an old school skater and you want to go to the park, but you're like, don't want to deal with all the kids, go at 6 a.m. Nobody's there.
No kids are going to be there at 6 in the morning.
No kids are there at 6 a.m. You got the whole park to yourself, man. And then all of a sudden 2 or 3 other dudes show up and now you have a team. Now you have a club. Yeah. You're hanging out with your skateboarding buddies.
Yeah.
And it's that opportunity to you just go begin something.
Yeah.
Go start doing something. Get outside like your mom. What a beautiful example of just get outside and start doing something.
Yeah.
And so so now I skateboard. I started skateboarding and I got to the point where it was like, and one of the things that was interesting, and this is the reason why balance is so important to me, is I watched my dad go through Parkinson's for 25 years. And he passed away several years ago from the effects of Parkinson's on his body. And the first thing that went was his balance. Mm-hmm. Like, that was literally the first thing that went was his balance. Yeah. And I was like, man, I'm going to keep my balance. Yeah. Like, get a slack line, get a little board and freaking whatever you could do what you can to keep your balance in life, because balance and like physical balance equates to balance in life. And there's a metaphor there that is just powerful as we go into it. And so it's one of those things where you don't have to do a lot. And no, I didn't start with all this. Now, and the slack board's new because I was like, I need something different. Because I was using my my balance board, and I was working on that, and I got to the point where I was really good with my balance. It's like, I need to adjust my balance. I need to change something up. And if you just change things up on a regular basis, and go through different modalities to be able to support different outcomes, you're going to have the opportunity to just see benefits in your health.
I agree. And it can be very simple things that I've got here. I've got a Rubik's Cube. Very simple thing that I can have there, cost me like £9. And it frustrates the hell out of me, because once I mess it up, I'm like, right, I've got to do it all again. I've got to start all again. And simple things like when I work with like Alzheimer's patients, like, right, what I want you to do is I want you to get some hacky sacks or some little small tennis balls, and I want to juggle. Juggle. I'm like, yeah, juggle. I can't juggle. That's my point. Juggle. Like, work that hand-eye coordination, because you're now using different parts of your brain that you're not using day to day, because you're not doing those things. Like if we were outside and you were picking apples and climbing trees to grab things, you would be throwing them all around and having to catch them and move them. Like, do that. Like, do simple things, like, or I don't know, as you say, get a slack board, just something, like just do something different. Brush your teeth with your left hand. Do different things which just challenge your mind a little bit more, and the hand-eye coordination a little bit more. Because I mean, one of the strongest kind of scientific data that show about kind of death as we get older is anybody over the age of 65 that fractures a hip, statistically they will die within 10 years.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you lose that mobility, you lose that function to look after yourself. So if you can be more agile and you can control, like on your slack board, what's good about that is because if you do fall, you're going to have to brace, and you're going to have to be strong enough to stop yourself from doing it. You're not going to fall like into a heap on the floor and break things. You know, it's important to have that. And I think, the whole balance point, like I used to teach this at corporations in the UK. I'd do a talk called Finding the Middle Path. And this is all based on Taoism, and about how in Taoism, in Zen, they've got this Zen triangle. And about if you're in that middle point and you've got a foot on either side of that fulcrum point, you will stay in balance. Yeah. And that's key to what you're talking about here with the skateboard and the slack. It doesn't just happen on the board. Once you've got balance on that board, you can now take that balance into all the other things that you do for that day. It's a very good primer. And it's just starting with simple things. Just juggle or get a ball and throw it against the wall and catch it. Like just simple things.
Simple things. Here's one for you. Like, and this one's going to rock anybody that hasn't done. Like, do you remember when we were little kids and we used to go play on the monkey bars?
Yeah.
And we could swing on the monkey bars, and we could skip two. Yep. Remember skipping two?
Skipping.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to skip one. I can skip two. And our arms were too short to skip three, but there was that one dude that was like wickedly long for a kid, and he could skip three, and everybody was like, you're amazing. Dude, when was the last time you did monkey bars?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, go down to the park and just hang from monkey bars and try to hit that first one. Yep. It'll rock your world how far we've come from being kids. But the beauty of this, if you go down every day to a playground and every day try to do monkey bars and try to just get one and then two, pretty soon you're going to be back and forth, and you're using muscles and joints and flexibility that you haven't used in years. And that's the whole point of what did you used to do when you were a little kid that you don't do anymore, and why? It's like monkey bars. Monkey bars is like an amazing, amazing physical activity that will challenge anybody age 40 and above.
I agree. And I don't know if you had these in your park as well. You had these little kind of wooden stumps which would get higher and lower as you went across them, like trying to jump from one to the other.
That was parkour before we knew what parkour was, man.
Exactly.
We used to run across those and jump across those and try to skip. And like now, dude, go do it again. Be a kid. I think the biggest thing to health, if you want to look at like reversing your age and taking control of your health, it's just be a kid. It goes to the questions that you asked. When was the last time you danced? When's the last time you sang? Like, and nowadays, stillness, I think, is incredibly important. In fact, I'm working with my daughter right now is about sitting in her stillness. She'd get in the car and she's like, Dad, can I play games on your phone? I'm like, no. Look out the window. Look at the cars going by. Like, that's all we did.
Yep.
We sat in stillness so long because we had to rewind the VCR tape.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about stillness? Rewind.
Yeah.
We're sitting there watching. Like, stillness was a part of the 80s. More so than people realize it, right? Yeah. And nowadays we don't have that. No. And so we've lost, and like it's crazy because you even look at music. The songs in the 70s were like 3 times longer than the songs today. Because of our attention span, and we don't lean into what music truly could be. And there's all these hooks. And so like there's 2-minute songs that I'm like, dude, that is nuts. Stairway to Heaven was like 8 minutes long. You think through that a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Bohemian Rhapsody. I think the original Bohemian Rhapsody was like 11 minutes.
I know, it was ridiculous. And they're like, we're not going to put this on an album. And it was amazing.
And Freebird. I think Freebird was 11 minutes.
And one of the greatest guitar licks ever. And and we could sit and here's another. When was the last time you listened to a CD or an album from beginning to end without skipping?
Oh God, a long time.
Like, honor the music, you know what I mean? And it's those opportunities sitting in stillness. That's sitting in stillness. You want to talk about meditation? We used to have to listen to the radio in order to be able to record the song that we wanted to hear.
I remember that. Yeah,
you're right. And you want to talk about stillness, dude? We sat in stillness. We meditated and didn't even know we meditated because we were kids and we were just doing things. So if you want to get in control if you want to be a CEO of your own health, which I love that phrase that you're using, Mark, is just go back to be a kid.
Yeah.
Look, we have our responsibilities, yes, but we don't always have to be so serious about it.
No.
Like, take the opportunity to do things that you used to do when you were a kid and gain that health back, gain that vitality of life and experience and love back.
Yeah. I agree. I'm actually going to add on those 4 questions, I'm going to add a 5th one, which is when the last time you played. I think that's a very important one. Very important, because I'm actually looking at the book now called Play. It's written by a psychologist who actually, his whole preface of how we treat, it's a great book. I'm so glad you know this. Nobody knows this book. No one knows this book, but it's such a great book because it's like everything that is in nature, everything that we see with animals is how we act when we're children. Everything's about play and it's about social status. It's about limitations of what's play fighting and what's actual fighting, those types of things. And it helps you with that social, like, kind of connection and that stuff and just getting into yourself and embodying that. Like, when you watch children play, they'll play for hours and it's effortless. Like, they don't put any energy into playing because the energy is just there. Where it's like when if you watch children on monkey bars, they'll swing all day long. We make it into a workout. Yeah. Why does it have to be a workout? Why can't it just be play?
You know, it's funny. Victor Wooten's an incredible bass player. One of my all-time favorites. I actually met him and I was able to play on stage with him for like 7 minutes. Yeah, I play bass.
Amazing.
The dude's incredible. But in his book, he talks about we teach music wrong. Because what we tell people is you have to go learn how to read. You have to go learn the note. You have to learn before you can even begin to play. And language doesn't happen that way. No. As a kid, and when we're growing up as a baby, our parents actually come down to our level and they talk to us at our level. And they want us to begin mimicking and playing at that level. Could you imagine if you were to put a young music student in a room with professional players and they all came down to his level and they just started playing together?
Wow.
Like, what if you just started playing music and not have the theory, the notes, the reading will come. That's how we learn language. What if we learn music that way? And his theory on just getting out there and playing is absolutely incredible.
Wow.
The dude was onto something because we've lost the ability to just play.
Yep. I agree 100%. Wow. Guys, this is probably one of the most profound conversations about this that I think I've ever had. And it's the first person I've ever met. And I'm a bit of an avid reader. I've got more books than I have TV. So to have somebody else on this podcast actually that knows the same book that we're talking about here about play, it's such an important point. It's such an important point. If you've got kids, watch them when they play. You'll soon see what we're talking about, how it's just pure effortless now. It's not about the moment. It's just now. They're just in that moment. There's well, not even in that moment. They're in that present state. There's nothing more that they want to do. It is just that thing, and they're just engrossed in it. And it takes, as you know, if we take this with fitness as an example, as we're saying, like, don't work out, play. It's adult PE. Like, just go and have fun. Like, go and enjoy it. It doesn't have to be arduous. Like, if you want to go for a run because you love it, go and run. If you want to play tennis, if you want to play paddleball, if you want to play pickleball, whatever, just swing on bars, like, whatever the case may be, just make it more fun, and the health will come with that because you're all of a sudden more active. You're all of a sudden doing more because you enjoy the thing rather than doing it because you want to look aesthetically a certain way. the weight will come, the muscles will come. Obviously, if you've got hormone imbalances and stuff, then, I'm on TRT. So like, I can attest, like the last year and a half
Yeah,
I've been on TRT. I did everything I
absolutely.
possibly could to get it up naturally, coming from a functional medicine background and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
No.
I've tried
It,
everything natural and I got it to basically as much as it could on its own. And I just, being 44, I'm like, well, I'm going to push this up now to a level where I want it to be, which is that optimal range. And it was an absolute game changer. And I'm not saying
yeah.
to everybody go out there and get TRT. If you're in your 20s, don't get TRT unless you are like primary hypergonadal or something. But like when you're in your like late 30s, early 40s, in your 50s, and you're struggling and you're not quite sure, and the testosterone levels are low, and your sex drive's not there, and you haven't got attraction to either your partner or to other females, whatever the case may be, or you know go and get checked, and then maybe have somebody look at your hormones for you and see if the TRT option is available, or for the bioidentical HRT for the women. Like, find that way of doing it, because it unlocks this thing in you. All of a sudden you feel, from
Sure.
my perspective, I feel like a man again. Like I gain muscle, I get stronger, I'm driven, I'm purposeful, I've got a deeper voice now. Like, all these things happen
Yeah.
when my body's now at a place where it actually feels comfortable, where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at the guy's, I mean, if you're watching, look at the guy's smile on his face, because he knows what I'm talking about. Like,
Well,
even,
and yeah, and your point is women, dude, women absolutely need that as well. The
yeah,
balancing out their hormones. I'm
yeah,
telling you, like my wife and I are having our second 50 is going to be amazing.
yeah,
It's going to be amazing. And you have to, first of all, know your levels,
yeah,
understand your levels, and then take action to normalize or increase or optimize your levels for you,
yeah.
so that you can be able to live the greatest life that's available to you.
Agreed. Because you're not doing these things for now. There was a very beautiful part of Ryan's story. He was saying his sons wanted him to do a Spartan with him. If he hadn't done these things to get his health in that place in the first place, he wouldn't have been able to do it. So
Yeah.
all the things that he had done prior to get himself healthier over those 5 or 10 years, however long it was, I forget how long you said, but like, it allowed him later to then be able
Yeah.
to participate. And that's the
Yep.
thing. Like, if you've got kids now, you're not doing the healthy things for now. You're doing it for 10, 20 years down the line, because you want to be that grandparent who can still run after their grandchildren in the garden and pick them up without throwing your back out. Like,
Yeah.
being able to climb up and down the stairs without your knees crunching and hurting you all the time. Like, that's why you're doing it. What you do today isn't about tomorrow or even the next day. It's about 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line. Like, who do you want to be then? This is what, because we both work in that same field of health optimization. Like, this is about health span. It's not just about longevity. Nobody wants to live a really long life but be in pain. You want to live a really long life and be healthy and have that health span to go with that lifespan. That's the goal.
Yeah.
If you can be in your 80s but you feel like you're in your 50s, great. Like, who doesn't want that? That's amazing. That's a well-lived life, and you can keep going. If we can get to 100 and 120, but you feel like you're in your 70s, great. Like, there's so much more to life in that regard. And, he's only, as you say, just entered into his second 50s. I'm only 44. We haven't lived that long. We've now just got the experience behind us to know we can do better. So once you know you can do better, you can be better. And that's kind of the whole thing behind it. But what I would love to do now, because I'm sure people are curious, STEM Regen.
Yeah.
Explain to everybody what STEM Regen is, and then, if you wouldn't mind, sharing your secret health stack of STEM Regen products that you're using to be as healthy and as vibrant as you are.
So STEM Regen is 25 plus years of research by Christian Drapeau. He has spent his career identifying the effects of botanicals on the human body and the increase of stem cells in circulation. It's a process that he calls endogenous stem cell mobilization. So in essence, these botanicals, these extracts that he's found in nature, and the formula associated with that has an effect of increasing the number of stem cells in circulation. The reason that's important is because all age-related diseases, and this is in the literature, you can go look this up, all age-related diseases, the person that's affected with Parkinson's, with heart disease, with liver failure, with erectile dysfunction, anything that's age-related disease, the person has 50% less stem cells in circulation than that of somebody who is healthy and of the same age. Proven.
Wow.
So the concept of how can we help people recover and repair on a daily basis, because our body's in this constant state of challenge and recovery, challenge and recovery, challenge. You look at working out, you look at exercising, you look at just our heart. We get a new heart every 30 years. If we don't have enough stem cells in circulation to repair that heart to cycle through those cells in the heart every 30 years, it's going to stop recovering and repairing. So it's the process of supporting your body's natural ability to repair. And that's what Stem Regen is all about. You take 2 capsules of our Stem Regen release and you get 10 million, it releases 10 million new stem cells from your bone marrow into circulation.
Wow.
You do that twice a day for 30 days. That's 600 million stem cells in circulation. Just to put that in perspective, I have on average anywhere from 5 to 7 million stem cells in circulation. So by taking 2 capsules, I could double the number of stem cells, more than double the number of stem cells in circulation. So
Wow.
it gives your body the ability to recover and repair. The important thing here is understanding that if you have more stem cells in circulation, what will happen? Well, a pain in your knee will all of a sudden go away. Your shoulders will start feeling better. You recover from workouts better.
Yeah.
But the Spartan, when I ran the Spartan, the trifecta with my boys, I did 4 capsules in the morning, 4 capsules after the race, 4 capsules before I went to bed. I woke up the next day ready to go. I was stiff. But not sore. So I did 4 capsules again, 4 capsules. By Tuesday, I ran another 5K. I wasn't killing I wasn't like walking around like I couldn't move. I mean, I was stiff, and believe me, but I was able to handle it and continue and recover on a regular basis. We have professional athletes that are shortening their return to play. We have fitness experts that are doing 150 mile rucks and not getting blisters because their body's healing on a regular basis.
Wow.
Like we have a study that it was 10 patients with chronic congestive heart failure. 10 patients with chronic congestive heart failure. All 10 of them on 2 capsules 3 times a day went for 6 months, received normal heart functionality at the end of that study. Now, for us, we're not sitting here saying we're going to cure heart disease, we're going to cure this. What we're saying is if you increase the number of stem cells in circulation, what will happen? And the beauty of that is sky's the limit. Your body has the ability to repair. Your body needs the tools in order to do so. And that's all that Stem Regen does. It supports the natural ability for your body to repair.
Wow. So I had surgery. I'd had surgery when I saw you, but I had surgery 12 weeks ago on Friday. So in 2 days' time. And they had to fully reconstruct my arm. So I've got tension wire running through here. I've got crisscross steel running through my elbow, and I've got tension wires running through the back of my triceps tendon. 12 weeks, right? I can use it completely.
Yeah.
And my surgeon was like, well, what have you done? He's like, how is that even possible? And one of the products that I used was the Stem Regen release. I was like, right, I'm just going to absolutely smash this because I know my body's going to need it. So again, 2 capsules in the morning, 2 capsules midday, 2 capsules at night. And I did that for the first 2 months. And like my recovery, like my recovery scores on my ring, green every single day, up in the high 90s every single day. HRV was like 120. And I wasn't even training because I wasn't going to the gym. So I wasn't trying to keep fit. But 120s, resting heart rate like in its like mid 40s the whole way through using it all. Bearing in mind, I'd had like, I don't know, I put on like 2 kilos of weight from when I went into surgery and when I came out because of all the stuff they pumped into me, all the antibiotics, all the anesthetic. But still, my body was just fully recovered the whole way through. Like there was no stress. I didn't feel like I'd had surgery. I felt like I went back to work within 2 days, which I wasn't supposed to do, but I felt like I could. Like I generally, and you know, I just want to say to people, I'm not affiliated in any way. I love the product and I think it's an incredible product, which is one of the reasons why I wanted you on, but also heard your story from you when we spoke and I was like, I need to get this guy on here. But that's just one of the products that these guys have. So what are the other ones that you have?
So one of the challenges to stem cells having an effect in the body is there's noise.
Yep.
Stem cells communicate on where they need to go through signaling in the body. And if there's too much noise, and noise can come in different things. It could be systemic inflammation. If there's too much noise going on, your stem cells are not going to know where they're needed most. So Signal is a product that we have that reduces the noise in the body. So cell-to-cell signaling can occur and their stem cells can know where they're needed. The other deterrent is your microcirculation, your capillaries and your microcapillaries. Stem cells have to get through those microcapillaries to be able to get into the tissues and become the cells necessary in order for repair to happen. And so Mobilize is a product that supports the circulation, microcirculation, so that the stem cells can actually get to where they're going. So the three products in the protocol are Release, Signal, and Mobilize. And it's pretty simple.
And you've got a sport one, I believe, as well now, don't you?
Yeah. So the sport one is great. It's designed, it's NSF sports certified. So it meets all the criteria for WADA certification. And what it does is it's tied to more physical muscle repair. There's some things in there that support satellite cells and which are stem cells in the muscle and muscle repair. So it's really geared towards somebody that's highly active, athletic, and professional, because most professional athletes will not take anything that's not certified.
Yeah.
So because they're worried about dope testing, they're worried about things. If it has NFS Sports certified on it, professional athletes are all over it, especially if they can see that it works. And we're having great results in the professional athlete arena and community because everybody's talking about it.
Wow. And are these available everywhere? Can you get all of them everywhere?
Yeah, so there, you can go to our website, stemregen.co, and depending on what country you're in, you can get it. We'd actually have, we have a partner in the UK. We have distribution in the EU, throughout the United States and Canada. We're opening up other international areas. I think we're going to be in Dubai in January, or February, March or December and January. So we have the opportunity to really provide this as a resource for people so their bodies can repair.
I love this. And so what are you, so I'm assuming you take all of them, I'm assuming.
I every morning. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Amazing. And what else do you add to this? Because obviously coming from working with Cellcore as well, do you still take any of their things as well?
So I do kind of a detox once a year.
Okay.
On Cellcore products, so Para 1, Para 2, and really get into that side of things for my detox standpoint. I don't take Cellcore on a regular basis, but I do really lean in heavy, and I'll do like the full moon detox for Para 1, which is really, really great.
I've done that one.
Or the mold detox. I'll go through that on and really get into like their bioactive carbon. Which
that's what I was about to say. That's the one that I love. Their bioactive carbon's incredible.
Bioactive carbons are incredible. I mean, they we really created the marketplace for that. And the mitochondrial health. So Mito ATP is a phenomenal product that I use, and I cycle on and off that. So really, those are kind of the ones that I typically do. And a lot of it is anything that you use in your home to stimulate recovery and repair is stimulated stem cells. So red light therapy, power plate, vibration plates, saunas, anything that you do. If you have a chance to do hyperbaric chamber, which I do, massage therapy, all of that is stimulating the release and mobilization of stem cells. So all of that kind of stacks together. I love talking about, like, with StemRegen, it's a 1 + 1 = 11, not 1 + 1 = 2. So whatever you do, if you bring whatever you're currently doing, if you bring StemRegen as your foundation, your outcomes are going to be just multiplied.
Amazing. And okay, so if somebody's looking at your products and they're thinking, right, okay, I love them all, but I can't buy them all right now, what would be the one that you'd say to them? Okay, if you can't get all of them, this is the one to take.
StemRegen Release,
the Release one.
The company was built on that. That's absolutely the flagship. I would start there. And we understand that. We're actually going to be coming out with some ways to address the market so that everybody can have a chance to really try this.
Wow.
So there's new things coming.
Amazing. And when can we hear about those? They're exactly next year.
Biohacking, the Dave Asprey's biohacking conference in the end of March, beginning of April.
Oh, I didn't know there was one then. I'm going to come to that. Where's that one this year?
In Austin. Oh,
I love Austin.
Yeah, please come.
I love Austin.
Please,
it's incredible.
Make sure you stop by. We'd love to chat, Mark.
Oh, I'd love to do that, brother. I really, really would. So when it comes to your health journey and I guess your family's health journey and everything else that's going to be kind of blessing in your life, what's the next moves for you? What are the next goals? I know, as you say, like you're slackboarding, you're Spartaning. What else have you got your sights set on?
Really, for me, my son actually wants to do a triathlon, and I'm going to do that with him. For us, it's really just what can we do to just stay active?
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, it's also let's go to Mexico over Christmas and enjoy some vitamin D. Right. Yeah. There's a lot of health opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities to drive that. And it's really just making sure that we're actively engaged in a good thing and a good cause on a regular basis.
Love that, brother. And I want to be very conscious of your time. So come up to the hour mark. So when it comes to starting the health journey, so if you could go back to when you started your health journey and you could say to yourself, right, Ryan, there are these three things are going to move the needle the most for you.
Oh,
what would those three things be?
I mean, we've already talked about it, like understanding your hormones and really having the data to make proper decisions on how you're going to move forward. A CECA scan or some sort of whole body scan to be able to understand where your challenges are, and really getting control of your diet. Not from it's not a diet. It's just eat less. It's eat in moderation. It's eat until you're full, or begin by eating until you're full, not until you're stuffed, and then go to eat until you're not hungry anymore. Yeah. You eat more frequently, but it's so much better for you. And so it's just really, I would say, being able to just begin moving in any way, shape, or form, understanding your body, and where your levels are, your so that you can make sure that you have the right data to make decisions, and then controlling how you eat, not necessarily what you eat. You start with how you eat.
Yeah.
I mean, the what you eat will come if you understand how you eat.
Yeah, I agree. Taste your food.
Yeah.
Chew it, enjoy it. Like a living thing, whether it be a plant or animal, has given up its life for you to sit there and continue yours with it as part of you. So enjoy it, taste it, smell it, enjoy it. And also one of the biggest things as well is, if you can, and I live on my own, so that one's quite difficult for me, but if you can, try and enjoy it with other people as well.
Yes.
I think the community piece is huge, and it's something that's missing in society so much now, particularly post-lockdown. There seems to be so much more separation, and I think I got this idea when I was in Austin, these intentional communities that I hear about a lot out there, where people are deliberately going to meet people in like-minded kind of job roles or hobbies or what have you. So if you're going to go out and do fitness, like go and join a running club, go and join a tennis club, go and join a pickleball club, like go and be with more people who are doing what you do, because we lack that connection now. We lack that community piece, and I think that's a very important one to have as well. Definitely. Well, Ryan, brother, this has been incredible. So I don't know how active you are on your socials, or whether you want to just drive people towards the STEM Regen Instas and stuff.
Go to STEM Regen. That would be ideal. And I'll have I'll send you guys some links so that you can send people to our stuff. But really, STEM Regen is the most important.
I'd love that, brother. I'll put all of those things in the show notes. So if we can get either you or you pay to send me over the links and stuff, I'll stick them in the show notes as well, and people can find you. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been Ryan Riley. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. This didn't go the way that I thought it would, but they never do. And I absolutely loved every second of it. This guy is a badass. I absolutely love this. So
thank you.
As always, like, share, subscribe. And there's a new thing called hyping. Didn't know this was a thing, but you can hype as well. Leave comments, ask questions. And until next time, Ryan, thank you so much, brother. I really do appreciate your time. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Riley, as I say, until next time, stay blessed.
Thanks, Mark.
And stay well. My pleasure, brother.